Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install Windows Server 2022 step by step, the easy way. Whether you're building a small home lab, learning for IT jobs, or setting up a real server for your business, this tutorial will guide you through everything from preparing your bootable USB to completing the server setup. I'll explain each step clearly so even beginners can follow along without confusion. So let's get started. Before we start downloading and installing Windows Server 2022, let's talk about the hardware requirements. These are the minimum specifications required to run the operating system smoothly. Processor. You need a 1.4 GHz 64-bit CPU compatible with x64 instruction sets and supporting features like NX, DEP, CMPX-CHG 16B, LAHF/SAHF, and prefetch W. Memory, RAM. Minimum 512 megabytes, but if you are installing the desktop experience, you must have at least 2 gigabytes. For physical servers, ECED error correcting code. RAM is recommended. Storage. Minimum 32 gigabytes of disk space for server core. For GUI installation and future updates, 40 to 60 gigabytes or more is recommended. Network. A 1 gigabit per second network adapter that supports PCI Express. Additional requirements. UEFI 2.3.1c. Secure boot support. TPM. Graphics adapter with 1024 by 768 or higher resolution. Once your system meets these requirements, we can proceed to download the ISO. Download Windows Server 2022. To download Windows Server 2022, start by opening your web browser and typing Microsoft Evaluation. Once the website opens, navigate to the Windows Server section. Expand the section to see all available versions, then select Windows Server 2022. After that, click on Download ISO to proceed. You will then need to fill out a short form with your details. Enter your first name, last name, email address, company name, country, region, company size, job role, and phone number. Make sure all the information is accurate, as it may be required for verification. Once you have filled in all the fields, click Download to continue. Next, choose the edition you want, either Standard or Data Center. The ISO file size is approximately 4 to 5 gigabytes, so depending on your internet speed, the download may take some time. Once downloaded, you can use the ISO file to create a bootable USB or virtual machine and begin installing Windows Server 2022 on your system. Following these steps carefully will ensure a smooth download and setup process for your Windows Server 2022 installation. Prepare your bootable USB or VM. If you're installing Windows Server 2022 on a physical PC or server, start by creating a bootable USB using a tool like Rufus. On your computer, open the File Manager and locate the Rufus application. Once you find it, double-click on Rufus to launch the tool. After Rufus opens, click on the Select button on the right side. A new window will appear where you need to browse and choose the Windows Server 2022 ISO file. Select the ISO file carefully so Rufus can load it properly. After the ISO is loaded, check the settings shown in Rufus and make sure that your partition scheme is set to GPT. This is important to ensure the bootable USB works correctly with modern UEFI systems. Once everything is set, you can continue with the remaining steps to create your bootable USB. Start the installation. When the Windows Setup screen appears, first select your language, time, and currency format, and keyboard layout. Then click Next, followed by Install Now. After that, you'll need to select the edition of Windows Server 2022 you want to install. Standard Evaluation. Standard Evaluation, Desktop Experience. Data Center Evaluation. If you want a full graphical interface with an easy-to-use desktop, choose Desktop Experience, as it is recommended for beginners. The core editions are lighter but require command line management, so they are better suited for advanced users. License terms and disk partitioning. Accept the license terms by checking the box, then click Next to continue. Next, choose Custom Installation if you want to perform a fresh installation of Windows Server 2022. You will then see a list of your available disks and partitions. Here, you have several options. Delete old or unwanted partitions to start fresh. Create new partitions if you want to organize your storage. Format an existing partition to erase all data on it. Or simply select unallocated space to install Windows on a clean area of the disk. Once you have selected the drive or partition where Windows Server 2022 should be installed, click Next. The setup will then begin copying files, installing features, and configuring settings. This part of the installation can take several minutes depending on your system, so make sure your computer stays powered on and do not interrupt the process. First, boot an admin password. Once the installation is complete, your system will restart automatically. After restarting, you will be prompted to create a password for the administrator account. Make sure to choose a strong and secure password, then press Enter to continue. Once the password is set, the login screen will appear. Enter the password you just created to log in and access Windows Server 2022 for the first time. From here, you can start configuring your server and exploring its features. Initial server setup. Once you log in, the Server Manager dashboard will open automatically. From here, you can perform the initial configuration of your server, including changing the server name to something meaningful for your network, assigning a static IP address to ensure consistent connectivity, enabling remote desktop for remote management, installing roles such as Active Directory, DNS, or DHCP based on your needs, configuring updates and security settings to keep your server protected, managing disks and storage to organize and optimize your data. After completing these steps, your Windows Server 2022 is fully installed, configured, and ready for use. And that's it! You've successfully installed Windows Server 2022 from start to finish. We covered hardware requirements, downloading the ISO, creating a bootable USB or VM, starting the installation, partitioning the disk, creating the admin password, basic server configuration after installation. This completes our guide on how to install Windows Server 2022 from start to finish. I hope the steps were clear and easy to follow, and that you were able to successfully complete the installation without any issues. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.